everyone, it's Erie, owner of Aerobic Strength and Conditioning. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about part 2 of our What Is It blog series, where I discuss progression, overload, and adaptation and how they're used in a strength and conditioning program. So I'll go over what those three terms mean, and I'll give you an example related to riding to help you understand. So progression is when you introduce challenges to the athlete, so you're not having them do the same thing every week, every workout. You want to be methodical about the ways that you present new either movements or different skills in their program. So whether that's related to strength training, metabolic endurance, aerobic endurance, or even agility training, you want to keep progressing the athlete in order to have an effective program. So when they master a skill or achieve a goal, you want to start teaching them a new skill that's a little bit harder, or give them a more difficult goal to achieve. And when they do that, then you move the bar further. So it's continually challenging them and then pushing them, and eventually you'll reach their ultimate training goal, hopefully. So a riding example of that is when you go from trotting ground poles to cantering ground poles to trotting a cross rail to cantering a cross rail and then doing a vertical. So you can see that it's a very similar concept. Like, you want to keep teaching them a new skill, asking more of them, not just keeping it the same, otherwise you're going to plateau. And related to that is overload, where you increase the resistance or the intensity of the workout itself. So you need to introduce overload in order for your body to physiologically adapt, for like actual changes to occur within your body. And different ways you can do that include increasing the weight used during exercises, increasing the number of training sessions per week, increasing the number of exercise sets, or even just making the movements more complex. And another way to do that is to decrease the rest in between sets and exercises. But with overload, you want to be careful, because if you don't introduce enough, you're going to plateau. Just like if you're not progressing and challenging the athlete, you're not going to see any changes if you keep using the same amount of weight or keep doing the same number of reps and sets for one exercise. But on the other hand, if you overload too much, then you increase your risk of injury. So you have to find that sweet spot between not including enough overload and including too much. So that's where progressive overload comes in, which combines the concept of progression and overload, where you want to be gradual and methodical about the way that you keep challenging the athlete, whether it's by focusing on just increasing the weight or making the movement more complex. You have different ways to increase the resistance and intensity of the workout. And a riding example of that is increasing the jump height. So like going from a cross rail to an 18-inch vertical to 2 feet to 2'6" to 3 foot. That's demanding more of the horse and rider with the increase in height. So that's pretty much it for overload. And adaptation is the increase in the resiliency of the body in response to the stresses that are placed on it during training. So the way that happens is when you actually remove the training stimulus. So that's when you take a rest day and let your body recover. That's when the changes actually occur. And after you recover, you reintroduce the training stimulus, but in a way that fits with the concept of progressive overload. So let's say you do a workout or a couple workouts and you give yourself a rest day. In order to keep getting better, you're not going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to do a little bit more, whether it's like an extra pound or two for an exercise, or extra couple of reps, an extra set. You're going to reapply the stressor, but in a way that presents a challenge and overload to the body. So you're not going to be doing the same thing that you were before. So that's pretty much it for adaptation too. Just a quick review. To improve performance with a strength and conditioning program, you want to advance the exercises that you're doing, and you can do that by making it more skill-based, or just making the movements more complex. You can also increase the amount of weight used, and most importantly, you have to let your body recover, because that's when changes really take place. That's it for part 2, progression, overload, and adaptation. Next time I'll be talking about negatives, supersets, and compound sets. Hope to see you guys then. Take care.